We begin tonight with breaking news in our investigation of this country's largest veterans charity. The two top executives of the Wounded Warrior Project were fired today by the board of directors. Americans donate hundreds of millions of dollars each year to that charity, expecting that their money will help some of the 52,000 troops wounded in Iraq and Afghanistan. But a CBS News investigation found Wounded Warrior Project spends 40 to 50% on overhead, including extravagant parties. Other veterans charities have overhead costs of 10 to 15%. Correspondent Chip Reed and investigative producer Jennifer Janisch broke this story, and Chip has the latest. Chip?
Well, Scott, Wounded Warrior Project's Chief Executive Officer Stephen Nardizzi and Chief Operating Officer Al Giordano were fired by the charity's board of directors after a meeting this afternoon here in New York.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project.
By appealing to America's generosity, Wounded Warrior Project raised more than $1 billion in donations since 2003, $300 million in 2014 alone. But while the money was pouring in, it was also flowing out on lavish employee conferences. In 2014, $26 million.
Let's get a Mexican mariachi band in there. Let's get maracas made with the Wounded Warrior Project logo, put them on every staff member's desk. Let's get it catered. Let's have a big old party.
Eric Millette was a retired Army Staff Sergeant when he took a job with Wounded Warriors as a motivational speaker, but after 2 years, he quit.
I'll be damned if you're going to take hardworking Americans' money and drink it and waste it instead of helping those brave men and women who gave you the freedom to walk this face of the earth.
More than 40 former employees told CBS News that spending by the charity was out of control. These two former employees were so fearful of retaliation, they asked us not to show their faces.
It was extremely extravagant. Dinners and alcohol and just total access.
For a charitable organization that's serving veterans, all this expense on expensive resorts and alcohol, it seems...
I mean, it's what the military calls fraud, waste, and abuse.
Former employees told us the excessive spending began when Stephen Nardizzi took over as CEO in 2009. They point to the 2014 annual meeting at a luxury resort in Colorado Springs as typical of his style.
He rappelled down the side of a building.
You mean to make a grand entrance?
Yes. Yeah, and he's come in on a Segway. He's come in on a horse.
Nardizzi has defended the charity's spending.
If your only fixation is spending the most on programs, that's feeling good, but not necessarily doing good. You could run a lot of program activities, you could spend a lot of money and have them be wholly ineffective.
But many major donors were outraged over allegations that only a little over half of donations went to help wounded vets. Fred and Diane Kane raised $325,000 with golf tournaments.
I feel like I'm representing all these people that have donated over the years, all these seniors over 65 that have sent them $19 a month, all these people on fixed incomes. If nobody's going to talk about this right now, and it has to be me, then it has to be me.
Are you done with Wounded Warrior Project?
Yes, except for my new mission of trying to see change there.
Sources tell CBS News the board has received preliminary results of a financial audit. And Scott, there are discussions underway about retired senior military officers who are being considered to take over leadership of the organization.
And we'll be following up on this important story, Chip. Indeed. Thank you very much.